All right, everybody, thanks for checking this out. If you're watching now, you're probably watching on YouTube, but make sure you follow us here and on Twitch so that you know when the next match is going up. We're going into map 2. It's Kings Row. Riot just did a kind of an upset. They out-brawled Nightshade on, Ilios, which, isn't really like necessarily a brawl map. The sniper duel early went Scythe's way, and then Riot started turning it around, so interesting to see actually Nightshade choosing to go in the King's Row after maybe they got outbrawled. What I think is they think their brawl is stronger. They think Ilios misrepresented their brawl, and they want to go into a hard brawl map to establish dominance. What do you think, Hawkshaw?
Yeah, I think you might be right, especially since we saw a little bit of that dive on Ilios Ruins. It did work for them early on, and then they flipped to the brawl after they lost, and then it just sort of went downhill for them there. But now we're going on to Kings Row, and like you said, definitely a much different map than any of the stages on Ilios. A lot of close corridors here on Kings Row, and just a lot of flat ground. And we'll see if 4-1-3 Nightshade is able to pull this back. There's always the chance.
Yeah, very much so. They could pull this back, and after a one-map advantage going to Riot, Nightshade is looking to pull this back in their favor here. I talked early about these two main tanks. We talked about Darthy, the streamer. Ven is now walled off from the rest of his team. He got to aggro. Oh no, that's absolutely catastrophic. You can't have that happen. Ven gets walled off and rolled early, and now it's going to be Nightshade rolling onto the point. And with another wall coming in that just absolutely rolled. They're going to roll through. And we're going to see 4-1-3 Riot walled off from the rest of his team. He got to aggro. Oh no, that's absolutely catastrophic. You can't have that happen. Oh no, and there's the pin again. Oh, rolled early. It gets out. It gets out. Rolling on, and that's massive. And with another wall, unlucky though to give that up so early. Riot looking to recover now.
Definitely a disastrous start for 4-1-3 Riot here.
Whoa, but the fight is happening already.
The good thing is, though, they do have the full 6, but this fight is happening already by this bookstore as the payload unlocks.
Both Maywalls going in and being used. Now the team's back up a disease with a big dragon that comes absolutely out of nowhere. Catches the lamp, so now maybe Riot looks to push in, but the wall gonna split Ven up. Now they're gonna hold the archway. As two members of Riot fall, the rest of them go. A late blizzard does catch two. It came out a bit right as those kills going in and being used. Now the team's back up a disease with a big dragon that comes absolutely out of nowhere. Catches the lamp, so now maybe Riot looks to push in, but the wall gonna split Ven up. Now they're gonna hold the archway. As two members of Riot fall, the rest of them go. A late blizzard.
4-1-3 Riot here. And they still have 5 minutes left on this point, and they're already over halfway done. It's going to be maybe one more fight at most. The shatter, though.
Oh, a big shatter. Anubrak finds a pick with it as well. The mirror coming in isn't going to be enough. Darthy gets pinned. Baritone finds a pick, though. A new addition, an absolutely aggro Lucio player is going to find Prism there, but it is going to be Nightshade finally capturing this point. Prism there, you mentioned, been around the server for a while, been on 4-3
maybe
for a minute.
One more
been on a few teams now,
finding
this home in Nightshade. Oh, a big shatter. They're rolling this point with him in on the mirror. The mirror coming in isn't going to be enough. Darcy gets pinned. Baritone finds a pick, though. A new addition, an absolutely aggro Lucio player is going to find Prism there.
Just showing absolute dominance over Ven. And that blizzard is coming in from DJ, so Nightshade does have to disengage, but Anubrak is getting low. They do use that immortality field, and the grab is there from Twid, but the beat is there from Inksplosh to sustain. Oh, and a big Anubrak again. The grab does keep them back, but it's not going to be enough as Riot is still losing picks here.
Yet another massive shatter for Anubrak. Ven right now has to try and recover as his team is feeling the pain of these shatters coming in from Anubrak over and over again. They're going to try to go out the right side, and Nightshade's going to look to hold the left. Twid has high charge here, and the mirror comes out. Ven pins in, gets walled off, and gets his team's lamp. Big shatter from Ven. He finds 3, and they're going to get deleted right away. And off the map, Anubrak goes. He pins into the wall, and with that, Riot's going to manage to hold this point. That shatter was so huge I lost my cool for a moment and capped my mic out. Ven absolutely did exactly what he needed to do. They're going to avoid the C9. Thank whatever lord or deity you may or may not worship that they did not C9 there. That would be disastrous. But then with a big shatter, absolutely what he needed to set this main tank duel up.
Yeah, absolutely clutch play from Ben, and it's going to stop the momentum just a little bit for 4-3 Nightshade. We'll see if they are able to pick it back up, though. Prism does have that Blizzard online, but Dorothy uses that window early, as well as the Deadeye from Disease to zone them right out.
Rusty Grant off the map?
Oh,
Oh, he's gone. I can't believe it, but DJ Fickle finds a pick. It was the strat all along. Who Breeds goes down as the freeze is in. Some members of Nightshade or anti-Barathon is frozen, but they don't know it. He's hiding in the room. They don't know that Barathon was frozen the whole time. He's still alive and he's healing his team. And Ubrak is fighting big, but he goes down. Benno finds that pick and Rasmussen and comes back just in time. It was a plan all along. The genius strat. Throw one of your teammates, catch him lacking, find a pick. The Ana gets frozen in the health pack room and they didn't even see it. They didn't clean it off the point. And Ana, Baritone, clutch with the heals. And right now Nightshade is trying to figure out what ults they can build in combo to get into this point.
Yeah, that Blizzard from Prism just gone to waste. But Twid does have this Graviton. We'll see how they go about using it. Ubris does also have this Deadeye, and the grab is used as well as the Ice Wall. No escape.
High Noon, but the shatter! He shatters the High Noon. What a brave man as Riot finds the picks they need, but the trade's coming in for Nightshade, although the respawn bank right now is going to make this one hard for Nightshade. They're going in, trying to die quickly now. That was big, a big shatter. You know, it is hard, and it takes a lot of gusto to be able to shatter a high nooning McCree, but sometimes it is the play. And right there, Ven made a big play, didn't care about what happened earlier, and risked making a fool of himself to make a huge play as Uber Eats gets antied here at far range.
Yeah, another big play from Ven. He's been kind of redeeming himself here from that first fight on point A. And the grab is out early from Grant, but he's walled off and there's no immortality for him.
And the lamp is huge. The beat comes out and they get the tire before it can find them. The May is going to have to freeze on point. Ven's pinning out. Smart move. He's going to recoup with his team as DJ Pickle. His tire's dead and so is he. Now Ven gets walled, but he's going to try to hold. The wall comes out and there's a High Noon from Nightshade. Can Riot hold on to this point? A pin coming in. Going to find Benno dead at the end of it. Nightshade. They do have some of the advantages. Twid is antied right now. They have some ults coming out, but it's not going to be enough. Nightshade managing to clear off the point of any pesky Riot members that may have been able to stall them any longer. Riot making the hole they needed right at the end there, but Nightshade rolled through those first 2 points.
Yeah, I think this is the start of the redemption arc for 4-3 Nightshade here. Absolutely steamrolling 4-3 Riot on those first 2 points. We do have to give a little bit of credit to 4-3 Riot though, as they did stop that. As they did stop 4-3 Nightshade for about 2 or 3 minutes on point C. But they still do cap with over 2 minutes left, and we're gonna see how 4-3 Nightshade is going to go about on this defense here.
Make sure you guys like and subscribe as well. It's going to be on YouTube, and we are very excited to have a new platform to bring it to you. Whether or not it was by choice, make sure you guys check us out on Twitch as well. Hopefully you can catch our matches later in the week. But right now, this match couldn't be more exciting. I mean, I'm personally trying not to throw out my voice for the rest of this match, so I had a little sip, and now I'm good to go. These teams, it's intense. Like I said, this main tank duel just really brings a lot of passion to it when they're both the team manager, but everyone else on the team is putting in just as much effort. Lil Dorothy has an insane amount of mirrors. Baritone has been making big plays, whether he's on Ana or Lucio, and Nightshade all around. I mean, Uber Eats was finding headshots all around. Twid was high energy for a lot of that round, and Ink Splash, we haven't even talked about yet, who found a crazy pick at the end of the Ilios map. Now, Riot pushes in Nightshade defense.
This is an interesting DPS lineup for 4-3 Riot here. They have the Junkrat and the Widow here, so maybe they're gonna look to, maybe they're gonna be looking for a pick from Disease, and then maybe they can push hyper aggressively onto Nightshade. But Ven is walled. You can't be pushing aggressively like that. They do manage to hold on for at least a little bit, but Ink Splash finding Disease, and Riot, they're still gonna fight this. Walled off again. Ven goes down, pays the price.
Yeah, wow, and Nubarak does find that pick. After Disease had the early entry pick, not much follow-up. That's the thing about Widow. You'll find those early entry picks, but after that, the team becomes more aware of your presence, and if they can effectively shut you down, it can become a 5v5. So you have to try to reposition, maybe find a new angle, but unfortunately, they are going to swap one to the Mei, which does make sense with the comp here. Now both teams engaging Ven. Does he know that Prism is waiting for that wall? Both tanks are walled off. There's the pin. It's huge. Ven is low, and the Nightshade. Big pick early. The lamp at the end doesn't find enough as Nubarak goes for the big shatter. Not sure if it got anything, but Twid did clean up a lot of picks right as it happened. And he's high energy going into this next fight, and a lot of ultimates online for Nightshade right now.
Yeah, and that Earth Shatter was the only thing they ended up investing in that fight. 5 more ultimates online for 4-3 Nightshade. And Ink Splash has this beat miles before Baritone. DJ Pickle does use that tire though, but Ink Splash has that beat to sustain against it. Pickle is going to be waiting a bit though.
Yeah, now both teams sitting with a lot of ultimates and both lamps coming out. The mirror is gone now, but both tanks are down. Wait, no, sorry. Yeah, no, Ven is still alive, swinging, going into the point. Wants to try to cap it, but has to line aside that mirror as the Mei freeze comes in right on top of him. Tries to pin out, but he actually goes right into it on the stairs. Can't quite get away. He gets grabbed, though, or not grabbed, sorry, bubbled by Azaria, who does save him. Sadfire finds 2 picks. That's one of those valuable supports we're going to see from Nightshade all night long with yet another big pick.
I love seeing these supports frag out. We've seen it from both sides so far this match, and I'm loving it.
Yeah, and I believe it is actually Nightshade that's more sparse on the support, so I may have misspoken. Riot has a lot of supports, and they can be swapping them out all day long. We are going to be seeing, a big shatter! A big shatter from Nubarak. Picks to follow. You don't even need to know. They're dying after that. You're not going to win a team fight when all 6 of your players have been shattered into oblivion. As I was trying to talk about the fact that Nightshade only has 2 support players, so we know they're going to be rolling with those 2. A big shatter! A big shatter from Nubarak. Picks to follow. Right now they're defending pretty well. Yeah, you don't even need to know. They're dying after that. You're not going to win a team fight when all 6 of your players have been shattered into oblivion.
They do
as
have
I was
a lot
trying
of
to talk
but
about.
you need to be using them wisely here, and you don't want to hold on to them and die because of it. And there's a start. DJ Pickle killing off Twid, and Baritone using that feat. Ults coming out from both sides now as 4-3 Riot finally finds the picks they need.
That is huge. Sadfire is still alive, and no one on Riot knows it. He's trying to hide in the backline. Let's see.
Oh no. You do contest for a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you'll still get a full 6 here to fight for the Streets phase. Yep, you're going to get a full 6 for the Streets phase if you're Nightshade.
Yeah, that's huge. Ink Splash, by the way, Riot has a lot of ultimates online right now. Ink Splash, they have a beat coming up that's going to be absolutely huge for this fight. Ink Splash, 93% to be beat, they could hold all of these ultimates off with a big beat here. But let's see now, because that is a lot of ultimates to try to defend against. Might not be enough to just have one measly beat trying to defend against so much damage.
Yeah. Look at this rotation here.
Oh, wait a minute. The fight starts. I didn't even see it as the wall comes through the alleyway. The freeze and the shatter does find Ven down, but Nubarak dies for it. Now the lamp coming through from Riot, a grab follow-up from Nightshade as the freeze comes in. It's going to find everybody on Riot. Oh my god, that's an absolutely devastating freeze. It's going to lead to the rest of Riot going down, and the cart ceases the push. As all of Nightshade just rolls the point. They go in deep, a little too deep. Riot has 2 picks right now. And they're obviously down, but they could come out of spawn with maybe a slight pick advantage.
Yeah, a bit of a mistake here from 4-3 Nightshade, as they did lose picks after winning that fight. I did like the aggression with that grab freeze combo coming out, even after losing Nubarak, but I don't know if it's going to be that much worth it.
Yeah, no wall for either team as the tire coming through right now for DJ Pickle of Riot. He finds a Nubarak. Main tank down. Not the kind of MTD you want to hear if you're Nightshade. Now, Twid has full charge, but he just has to back up, unfortunately, and hope that he doesn't get cleared out by all of Riot, but then overextends and dies as Uber Eats finds yet another pick. A big rollback for Nightshade, who's going to try to defend this point right now. Big ice wall from DJ Pickle. That's not going to be enough. The mirror coming in, trying to hold these members of Nightshade off the point, but they can't do it. They go down. Riot is dying one by one, and despite the pick from Disease, MTD may difference maybe, but it's a little bit too late now as Riot just hopes that with these last 30 seconds, these two tank ults and the freeze, maybe you even have to use the beat in face of the mirror and the high noon. You have to use everything, but you need this point. This could be last fight if you don't.
Yeah, and Prism is going to come back before, or as Riot begins to engage here. But Uber Eats finds two picks with the Deadeye before Riot can follow up on this grab. But they do
big
find
grab and land, but the shatter! It's big again! Van with a 4-man, but it's not going to find any kills. It's going to stun everyone on Nightshade. And now Sadfire's down, Venstrike gets frozen. Oh no, the ults are coming in reverse. Nightshade has the ults now, and despite the big shatter, Riot getting rolled off the point. A big beat coming in from Baritone. It's last fight. Here comes the freeze. Wait a minute. Here comes the freeze. Disease is in. This could still be winnable. No, here comes Nightshade trying to roll through the point, and they're going to do it. We are looking at 1-1 right now. Each team taking their own respective map.
Victory.
Wow.
That's huge. Both teams really making a statement, but honestly, Nubrak just all day long was really rolling on the Rhine. Chwid here with the play of the game. Let's see how he devastated the enemy team, most likely with a grab. No, he just cleans up a shatter, and that's all you need from your Zarya player. Absolutely destructive in the grab as well. Chwid's going to take them all out there.
Absolutely deadly tank duo on the side of 4 and 3 Nightshade, and I love seeing these two tank duos going against each other. This has been a great match so far, and now it's 1-1. Nightshade coming back with that brawl, redeeming themselves and taking King's Row.
Yeah, and I'm kind of interested to see what teams might swap here. So more DPS on the side of Nightshade, whereas you have more supports on the side of Riot. So I'm interested to see what the subs come out, because really that was an interesting map. Obviously, we saw Riot took the first map, and then they made the swap from Icy to Baritone. That was the main, and I think the only swap they made. And we're, just so you guys know, now we're on YouTube, no intermission. We're talking about this match the whole way through. You guys are going to get full analysis of this match in between, which I'm excited about because I got a lot to say about these two teams. There's so much to talk about. We're going to be going into the map soon, so hopefully I can get it all in. But now Icy seemingly going back in for Baritone. So Baritone going in, they do go down the map, but Baritone did have a pretty valiant performance, I got to say, throughout that map. Then he had, the Ilios, I wouldn't say it was a super strong MTD, whereas on King's Row, I would say that Nubrak really got advantage of that duel. But that being said, I'm a little biased as a tank player. There's so much to look at here between these two teams. The DPS, for example, have been playing great on both teams. It's been kind of hard to keep track of which Widow was picking off the other, but Disease and Scythe were two players we saw in Ilios going back-to-back Hawkshaw. If you remember that duel?
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely back and forth, like you said, on Ilios Ruins. Definitely a very good sniper map. And speaking of sniper maps, the map pick from Riot is going to be Havana, so I won't be surprised to see if we do see more snipers from these teams.
No, yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Going into Havana, Riot, I see why they want to go in there. Because I think Scythe got some early picks, but I think Disease maybe felt pretty strong about it at the end of the day. And we'll actually see. We're not sure. Nightshade probably going to look to put in Scythe here. He's the Widow player, and it's Havana. I mean, you got to put him in. So, again, this is where the swap diff might come in, right? Because Nightshade has more DPS, whereas Riot has more supports. So, Nightshade, I think personally DPS is the role where you might need a bit more flexibility. Obviously, you have more characters there. And obviously, this might not be by intention of either team. Might just be by what's available and which players fit their team. But I think we are seeing Nightshade being able to swap out and have a dedicated sniper player like Scythe is really helping them.
Yeah, the flexibility is going to. I think it's definitely going to come in big for Nightshade. That's 4 DPS on their side, and
right.
And now we're going onto Havana. Scythe is back in. We'll see if he does take a Widow duel once again with Disease, but we'll see. Lately on Havana, from personal experience, I have been seeing a lot of spawn holds with the defending team, playing a hard brawl comp and just running into the attackers right at their door. So we could see that, or we could see more sniper duels taking place. What do you think?
Yeah, I think certainly the snipers are going to come up, but early on, Nightshade, we could see swaps out here, but they're on defense. So right now they're coming out without a long range sniper. They have McCree. They don't have the Widow or the Hanzo that you would expect. So that could be really big for them. Riot is certainly going to have to play in a way where they're looking for short spaces and they're looking for small corners to capitalize on. Small rooms, for example, are going to be absolutely great. And right now, Nightshade probably doesn't know it, but I think I see something. I think I see a sneaky, beaky little Riot that wants to hold the spawn door right now. Look at them all clumped up in that corner. Oh, they're in a little triangle. They're in a little triangle in the corner, and here they come. They were kind of ready for it, at least now, as the stuns come out. They're holding spawn door and just buying time. Scythe finds disease. Oh, how do you get picked there? That's so unfortunate. Through the spawn door, Scythe finds a pick. This man finds picks from everywhere, including the spawn door. But Ven is pushing in. He doesn't want this to be over. He's taking his team and he's running it in. And they're going back into spawn. Nightshade has a poke comp and they can't do anything. Red Barrel is separated right now. Can't get back in the spawn door. And despite the early pick, a huge difference in the comps allows Riot to just push in and brawl Nightshade back into their spawn door. We're going to go to a quick pause right now, but that was massive.
Yeah, and I think if you're on the side of Nightshade, you need to swap off this comp and just mirror this brawl comp that Riot is running, because you're not going to do anything with the Sigma and the Roadhog, who just like to play from mid to long range. So if I'm Nightshade, I'm switching back to I'm switching back to that brawl. We did see them go back to that brawl on King's Row and dominate with it. All right, looks like we're gonna be going back in here.
Yeah, quick little DC from Sadfire, who's now back. Still should retain their 92 ult percentage on BAP, which is going to be huge. The mirror coming in from Sadfire, we could see. And now Nightshade wants to try to recover. Like you said, maybe swapping one of the mirror would be the pick. But no, they stay on this sort of poke comp with their snipers. They do have a Junkrat in the mirror coming in big, but a big shatter from Ven is a massive play as he picks them all off. Like you said, Nightshade, man, it might be time to go back to the drawing board and just mirror, because you're getting brawled right now.
Look at the ult charge on the side of the tanks for Nightshade. Just not finding anything. Well, Ven has already used an Earth Shatter. Rasky Grant has this grab, which I assume you'll use for DJ's Blizzard. And you also have the Matrix from Dorothy as well. All you have on Nightshade is the Valk.
Yeah, that Valk could come in big here now. Rasky Grant has the grab up, and there it goes. Doesn't get eaten by Red Barrel. 3 members of Nightshade are in it. One has a cryo, though, as one goes down Red Barrel. Twid, though, finds a big hook kill, and now, finally, Nightshade are using that hog ult to burst through this spawn door hold. Riot's going to get what they want. They're going to get their other team fights, but if you're Nightshade, you're just happy to get finally out of the spawn door hold that was looking somewhat dangerous there for a bit.
Yeah, look at how much space it's buying for 4-3 Nightshade. But if you're on the side of 4-3 Riot, you do get the guaranteed fight here, the guaranteed second fight here.
Yeah, that'll be big now. Ven holding on this little movie theater display store with the mirror coming in now from Lil Dorothy. Gonna force a lot of Nightshade to LOS this. The eat coming out from Red Barrel. Now Ven gets hooked and walled and he's dead. The beat isn't gonna be enough to save him. Scythe has his high noon up, but he's gonna get frozen if he doesn't pop it soon. He finds Icy, as now a lot of Nightshade are frozen. Riot looking to turn this back in their favor, but Lil Dorothy's frozen. The walls intersect, and Lil Dorothy is saved by his May. DJ Pickle making a big play for his team there. Disease does take out Ease Falls with a big headshot as Twid finds Rasky Grant, though. Big trade is now the Sig ult doesn't find anything but a ragdoll Zarya body as a high noon comes out from Disease. Ven gets hooked. Twid hog ulting into it, though, as the draw comes through. Doesn't find anything as Ven does go down to the hog ult. Nightshade gonna roll through this point and finally capture it.
Yeah, and I think for this second fight, I think it was going to be harder for Riot to get to beat down Nightshade anyway, because they already have this advantage. They already have all this space in the world to work with this mid to long range with the Sigma, the Hog, and the McCree, and they use that to their advantage and they cap this point.
Yeah, and that cap's going to be huge. He's false now finding a little Dorothy, meaning Riot has to take longer to get 6 as Nightshade's going to take that space. Twid wants it on the stairs now, holding the enemy back.
Yeah, we'll see.
Twid is holding. Yeah, Riot can't come in until they get a 6. Now they are seemingly grouped up, trying to get in here as the Maywall comes in from the enemy team. He's false doesn't have his Maywall now as Rasky gets hooked. You can't have that, but it puts him in perfect position for a huge grab, which he does hit. The freeze coming in will save them from Ben's wrath. As now the immortality field gets somewhat wasted, but regardless, Nightshade's finding picks. Riot trying to just get out now, maybe get away with their lives as a big roll comes in. Scythe is clearing this point up. Big picks from Scythe. You can't have that, but it puts him in perfect position for a huge grab, which he does. Neither team even having the save them from Ben's wrath. As now the immortality goes in hard, but wasted. But regardless, Nightshade's finding picks. Riot, he's false, does find Ben out now, maybe get away with their lives. Coming out, big roll comes in. Scythe to Twid to keep him alive. As the Zarya bubble on ice, he doesn't get too much. The payload grab. DJ Pickle finds a pick, and Riot is cleaning up the point now. And that's unfortunate for Nightshade, but you do get the cap, so you're not that worried about it.
Yeah, now you just got to break out of the spawn because getting those picks and cleaning up bought a lot of space for 4-3 Riot. But the Gravitic Flux is used, but it only hits Grant, and Red Bill dies for it anyway. Cannot get that Gravitic Flux off. I don't think it would have done much anyway, as Ben gets walled off.
Yeah, big pick taking the ult away from the enemy Sigma Rascal and clearing up the point now as the brawl goes in hard. And that's going to be Nightshade losing that fight. Red Barrel, yeah, not having that ultimate now is going to be huge.
Definitely. And if I'm Riot, I'm going to be holding up in the spawn again. Or at least by the cart here. You can't... Well...
Yeah, they try to hold this space. Ben gets walled. The mirror coming in. His Scythe now has his high noon. The beat is big, but a big shatter. Oh my gosh. This match just keeps entertaining now with the huge shatter of Ben. And DJ Pickle actually cleans up most of those picks there. I mean, absolutely destructive of Ben. Just come in and clear that point out.
And now history is repeating itself as Nightshade again is struggling to get out of this spawn with how close Riot has been holding on this third point.
Yeah, we see Red Barrel coming in, looks for an early fire strike as Ven is going to hold early. Like you said, they're holding up again to enable to get another fight later as Disease has his high noon up, but Ven's finding picks. The freeze isn't going to be able to stop him. DJ Pickle finds a pick. Sorry, that was his freeze on his team that helped him, actually. Rascal now, along with Lil Darby, is clearing out this point. So, yeah, like you said, Riot is deciding to hold up close here, and yet again, it's actually working against Nightshade.
Yeah, now we're seeing Nightshade going back to that brawl. I think this is the right move. Just get up in their face, take the brawl duel. But Grant uses the grab and the window to support it from Dorothy.
Yeah, big grab doesn't end up doing much, though, as Riot does find a pick, but Ink Splash goes and gets one of their own. Now Scythe finding a big pick. Rasmussen goes down as Nightshade is clearing this point, but with only a minute left, if you're Riot, you're glad you've held up close, because you're going to get another fight with plenty of time bank, although the ult's questionable. They could really go in either team's favor. Yeah, big grab doesn't end up doing much, though. Riot slightly is in favor of Nightshade. Goes and gets one of their own.
Yeah, Ben.
Now Scythe finding a big pick. Rasmussen goes down as Nightshade is clearing this point, but with only a minute left, if you're Riot, you're glad you've held up close.
Even though the percentages might not be that much, it could be that big of a difference maker here in this fight. And Ben walled off yet again as Riot tries to take this fight. Pins off Squid, even though he uses that personal bubble to keep himself alive, and Ben goes down.
Yeah, the Ryan's trading pins as the mirror comes through for Nightshade that's going to find Ben down. Icy goes as well. Now Riot has to try to stall at this point for as long as possible. They're going down. Rascal is holding the point. And here comes the high noon from Disease. Doesn't find anything. Does get blocked as it probably should. With the pick advantage being in Nightshade's favor. Ben coming into the point heroically, though, just to stall it out for longer. He does get shattered. If they could have found a pick, maybe. But Disease does find that pick. And the freeze coming in could actually be huge. Wait a minute. No one on Nightshade can push the point. Ink Splash, they get their beat off. Now, DJ Pickle going down, unfortunately, with the freeze. But do they come back? No, not quite. Riot almost made it. but they didn't really quite go into the stall picks that they might have needed. I thought they could try to fight that after the pick. But Nightshade, regardless, finally getting that 3rd point after a really good time hold by Riot, holding up close on those points.
Yeah, it definitely could have gone a lot worse for Riot if Nightshade had swapped to that brawl. In my opinion, back to the first point where they kind of just stuck onto that poke comp for I think a little bit too long, and time just like dragged out before they could end up breaking that spawn hold. And they do cap it though. It is hard to cap on Havana, so you do have to give credit to Nightshade here.
Yeah, going to be hard for Riot coming back as well. Obviously, they struggled on King's Row attack, which does, sort of worries me here. They could have a hard time on attack. Curious to see if Nightshade does the same thing. They probably won't hold close, though, given their sniper comp they seem to be setting up for, along with the Zenyatta in their backline as well.
Yeah, and they're setting up on this high ground. This is definitely the double shield, double sniper that you will typically see on this map. Typically like the alternative comp that you'll mainly see if you're not holding the door.
Right. Yeah.
Although I haven't been seeing this one as much as the brawl comp at the door, and we'll see
Yeah.
how Riot goes about doing this comp against this double sniper.
Yeah, Nightshade seems like they just want to work with what they've used before and what they know well, which I got to say is a great decision. Now Riot trying to push this card in, the Sigma Shield getting burnt down by this double sniper comp, but you can't let your team get picked. He's going to have to use up his Eat, and Ven is just pushing this card, crouching behind it while he can. The Storm Arrow coming in from DJ Pickle, going to break those shields, but we got a lot of spam to break through first. Now, you're going to see the spam comp rolling back and sort of repositioning now as the Brawl tries to push through that Sigma, helping the Brawl out a lot. And now the poke battle is starting to get lost. Nightshade has burnt a lot of the Brawl's resources, but Ven is still going, and Twit has no health left as the picks are finally coming through. So they didn't quite manage to burn all of Riot's resources as the Brawl came in, but Ven does go down. So these picks could be big, because without your main tank, this becomes a different game. The snipers for both teams, Scythe finds a big pick. And now all it is Rascal Shield with no Widow. DJ Pickle does find a pick onto the Zen, though, and this fight is going slow because of this spam. DJ Pickle and the Hanzos trade out as a bubble and an Immortal on point is going to mean Benno has to work hard to get it back. He's false on the Hanzo, does find two, but DJ Pickle finds one again. These Hanzos trading back and forth all day long. Spot. They find a pick on the Rescue Grant. Disease does finally get revenge on Scythe, and Riot finally is about to cap this point. They do.
Great play from the DPS here. I think overall on this first point, that was a great approach from 413 Riot. Just hiding behind that cart, trying as much as possible to just not get spammed by the double shield, and it worked out in their favor as they ended up capping.
Ooh, and in the top left here, a little fight breaking out. Twid does back away. Ven with his Lucio right now, pushing into the Sigma red barrel. Does his thing, stalls it out, keeps him away, and Twid goes in half health, though. Ven wants him. He smells blood in the water, and he's going hard, blocking the Sigma Rock and swinging on the enemy team. Rascal on the Sigma is coming up, but his whole team, all of Riot is set up now. The Dragon cuts through their backline and doesn't quite fully split them, but Ven goes down regardless. The Immortality does not save him now. As Twid's going in onto the enemy team, he finds it. That's the space he needed now. Riot going down on the point. They're going to have to retreat, but I will say they're probably making a slightly better time here than Nightshade.
For sure. Still 4 minutes left as they do lose this fight. But they do have a good amount of ults to work with. 5 almost online for them. As I think you overinvest a little bit. I don't know if the Gravitic Flux from Red Brawl was necessary. Sorry.
Yeah, I think maybe not. But at the end of the day, you'll take what you can to hold it. Ultimate's coming in for both teams here. Riot does have the advantage, probably. But either way, Ven's going to try to take this high ground from the enemy team. He wants it, and he's going to get spammed out, but the mirror from his BAP should help him. Sight does go down to Hanzo as he falls, finds Hanzo in response. Now it's going to be a main tank duel on point. Twitch swinging Angie Monkey is here as Ven just tries to fight him off. The rest of his team joining as the Iris will be passed into Zen. Is now in the back line. Transcendence coming through. Ink Splash, they have their mirror up. but it might not be much use this fight. Red Barrel does find another pick. However, Riot is starting to clear this point out. Nightshade wants to try to defend it. Riot's probably going to have to go back to spawn here. Disease up on the high ground, still trying to find picks, but Twid finally clears them out of that. And Riot is going to be sent back to respawn. After regrouping at 6.
Yeah, and I gotta say this very unorthodox team comp from Nightshade. I think Twit's watching that Winston on the first point just to get back fast, and now it's paying off for them on the second point. You have this spam from Sigma and the Hanzo, as well as this Winston who could just jump in your face along with it.
Yeah. Yeah, the team comp is really unique, and it seems to be holding well. Lil Darthy does find Twid down, though, now. As a Riot tries to push to the point, the Dragon from DJ Pickle is going to be huge, but both Dragons are invested. These Hanzos are mirroring each other, trading ultimates and picks all day. Rascular going down as Red Barrel finds a pick. DJ Pickle finds one, but it looks like, oh, Ben goes for a huge shatter, but gets stunned. It would have been big. But now Riot's going to have to reset yet again. Nightshade making a big hole in second point, which is completely different from what we saw Riot do.
Yeah, and again, it just worked out. Twid did go down there, but with the help of the Dragon Strike from He's False, as well as just finding those picks, that shatter from Ven getting canceled, very unlucky for him. He got absolutely bullied. He got, stunned and then slept by Sapphire?
Yeah,
and then finished off by getting shot by Ink.
Hard to watch, and he finally goes down to it all as He's False. Finds a pick on a little Darthy here. Monkey goes in hard here. It's Twid getting angry and going in, clearing up space for his team as the High Noon comes in from the site. Rasking gets slept way away from his team as Disease, though, does manage to find Twid. Then is pushing this cart in right now. Red Barrel is on the point, and he's doing big things, holding it right now for his team, being a big main tank. Sigma just staying on the point, make the enemy team back out as Riot's going to have to recharge and get their team together. They don't have 6.
And Grant's Flux actually got canceled as well. He got slept by Sadfire during the Flux. 2 very unfortunate events for these Riot tanks, as they have 38 seconds left on this second point, and Sadfire is coming up on this nano. You can nano that Winston, as they do right there. Finds that pick on the Darthy instantly, but is traded for He's False with that Deadeye.
Yeah, Disease finds a huge pick here and another to follow. The High Noon gets one, gets another after, and Riot is going to clean up this point. Despite that big ante from Sadfire, it's not going to be enough. They're going to have to give up this point to Nightshade, who's pushing hard with only 11 seconds left. Nightshade actually might get another fight here right at the end.
Yeah, look, they still need to round this last corner as well. And they send in the Dragon Strike as well. Look, Twid is going to be able to touch, and he's going to get his Primal off.
Wow, big touch from Twid.
Nightshade.
That Primal is huge. His side finds a pick with the space it made. Ben, though, finds 2. That's the DPS line for Nightshade down. Ink Splash finds 1. Rasky grabs the Sigma down on the point. Mirror going through big. Twid's going to be able to find one, though, and that's absolutely massive. Disease, though, is trading out here right now. Nightshade just tries to stall for more time as it is overtime. Down goes Sadfire and Ink Splash. With Riot successfully capping this point, but with only a minute left, they're going to have to go clean through this third point if they want to win this.
Yeah, best case scenario, they cap in that overtime push, seeing as they only have a minute 20 on this last point of Havana. Very interesting. Twid staying on that Winston. Red Bill is on this run now, wanting to probably take that Rhine duel with Ben, and who does have his Earth Shatter, but Ink does have this window, and from long range, it can really enable their team to do a lot here with this very open area on third point.
He's false. Finds Icy in the backline, Lucio going down. And Disease finds a pick in reverse. Ink Splash goes down. Now the mirror came out right in time, though. Disease finding another pick on the Scythe, who goes down. Oh, the Fire Strike's being traded. Icy goes down again. Oh, Icy, you just got out of the spawn door, and you run face first into a Fire Strike. Feels bad, man. I know the feeling. Twid finding Disease, though, going to the backline as these main tanks are finding picks now. Twid goes down, and Ben goes in hard, but that's a nano on the Red Barrel, who almost has his shatter. He's stunned, but the shatter could be big. Ben looks to block it, and he gets his own. He finds the Rhine and the Ana, which is huge, but now he has to block a shatter. Is he ready for that? No, he's not. He gets absolutely cleared off the point now. Icy goes down as well, and that's going to be Riot falling off the point now. Nightshade looking to take this. Riot has one last touch, but he's also going to make that really difficult. Raskigant going straight in. Now we have the Dragon just trying to make something happen. Here comes Ben. They have a regroup in mind, but I don't think it's going to be enough right now. Looks like Nightshade's going to be able to hold this point and take a second map.
Yep, and it's just cleanup time as the ball cannot touch, and Havana's going to go to Nightshade.
Yeah, Nightshade takes Havana. That's huge. And, you know, the subs coming in there, obviously, Nightshade having the sniper subs seemed to be absolutely huge for them, would you say?
Oh, definitely. Did you see how many picks did Scythe get on that last point, like within those last 2 fights?
Oh, dude. Who could even keep track? Yeah, Scythe always popping off. You know, he was there on Ilios, and now he's here on Havana. The sniper maps are huge for Nightshade. I mean, obviously they lost Ilios, but we saw that early kill. We saw the potential. Havana was fully realized now, and it's actually really interesting because, you know, right now if you're Riot, you can't lose another map. You have to take 2 maps. So what do you pick first? Going straight into this next map. Curious to see what they're going to pick. Not sure what the subs are going to be, though. That's where the big changes are. Obviously, once we see the map, then we'll know the subs. So curious to see what Nightshade's going to do also in response to the map. But this has been really curious. You know, early on, Riot was the underdog. Nightshade maybe having the early advantage. As Riot made the upset with the control map, Nightshade took it back. So now they have 2 maps, and they only need 1 more. But now it's 2 CP map, and Riot gets to pick. So with that pick, they could have something comfortable in their lineup, and maybe they don't go down on 2 CP. Also, 2 CP known for its draws. So who knows what we could possibly see here. A lot of players that I haven't even gotten to talk about, just so many subs back and forth. Now Baritone possibly coming back in on what might be Hanamura next map.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. Definitely not the sort of sniper map you'll see in something like Havana. So I think if you're Nightshade, you might end up making some swaps here and just going back to that full brawl, which is what you'll definitely see a lot of on this map.
And one thing you'll notice too in this matchup is that Ven and Raskigant have been going up against a tank lineup, you know, that has subs to go in and out. They have a Nubrak and Red Barrel and Twid that have sort of been swapping out between each other. I think Twid's been in the whole game, but you've seen Red Barrel and Nubrak swap back and forth. So Raskigant and Ven having to go up against 2, you know, server veterans and a sub at that. So I think they've played pretty valiantly for that, especially on that Ilios map. So let's see if they can kind of spark back some of that magic they had there before, as we're starting to get lineups coming in now.
Yeah, and we're seeing the swaps from Nightshade. They do switch up the DPS line here as well. So this hints to me that they're probably going to be going back to that May McCree hard brawl. They are going to be attacking first, and we're going to be going into Hanamura.
Yeah, and I want to say this this DPS lineup here for Riot. It's been DJ Pickle and Disease all day long. They've just been going at it, and I don't believe they've had any subs to swap out either. No, it has just been those 2. So again, that's another place where the subs have been on the side of Nightshade, and they've had that versatility to be able to go in and out. So curious to see how Riot, DJ Pickle and Disease here, two young, newer, not young specifically, but newer players to a team on the server. You know, they could really stamp their names into the lore here for a very long time if they do something big. And Ven has been doing a decent job of keeping, you know, a Nubrak in his sights and keeping whatever that enemy main tank is. It's been Red Barrel, who's also somewhat new, going up against Ven. So now we're seeing Red Barrel back in. And I will say, you know, Ven's been putting up his best effort. I think he's been getting clapped a little bit aside from Ilios, but we've seen some very valiant plays. He's been coming back in the clutch with his shatters. So really, especially on Hanamura, this main tank duel could really go either way.
Oh, for sure, especially in this small choke here. And looking at this comp from 4-3 Riot, they're looking to do like sort of half brawl, half spam. You have the Junkrat there, which is definitely good for this choke. And it looks like 4-3 Nightshade is going to go back onto this brawl, except they'll have the Ana Bap on both teams, actually.
Yeah, very curious. Raskigant now that the Ana Bap, both teams on the mirror. We do see that a lot, but honestly, I expect a Lucio instead, so curious to see the Ana. With what maybe the meta has been What most people might be running right now. Disease on that top right, looking to poke out the enemy team who has Uber Eats instead of Scythe, who goes down, as well as Prism. Two big picks from that DPS line I mentioned at the start of the map. Caster called it as Red Barrel, though. Curses now. Disease goes down, so that's going to be spawn advantage Nightshade right now. As Riot just tries to hold on, and they don't want to. They want to try to hold space until their enemy, or until their friendly teammate can get back, maybe.
Now Prism has flipped over to this Pharah. I do think it's going to be good. It's going to be hard with a Junkrat and a Hanzo to deal with it, especially when your Junkrat is dead from a pin from Red Barrel and Twid, finding the counterpart Zarya as the rest of 4-3 Nightshade just steamroll 4-3 Riot, and that's going to be their point. They take it comfortably.
Take your medicine.
Yeah, Nightshade storming into that point and taking it. Mostly, I would say, due to that late pick on Disease. Unfortunately, even though the DPS lineup found a pick, it just wasn't able to be enough, and we did see Nightshade take that after that late pick on Disease.
And now Disease flips to the Ashe with Baritone as the Mercy pocket in response to this Far Mercy, or the Pharah. You don't really have the Mercy on Nightshade here, but you do have the Pharah, and I think this Ashe Mercy duo is going to be a good answer to it.
Lil Dorothy finds Prism down as Uber Eats find a pick as well. So that's two now for Uber Eats, but a big shatter coming through. Red Barrel hits it as Uber Eats continues to pick, and uh-oh, Riot. You don't like to see that, but the tire gets two, and on Hanamura, we know this map. It could be hell. DJ Pickle makes a huge play in the clutch for his team to be able to have a chance of stalling this. Now they're coming out of spawn. Lil Dorothy finds Prism down as Uber Eats find a pick as well. So that's two now for Uber Eats, but a big shatter coming through. Red Barrel hits it as Uber Eats continues to pick, and uh-oh, Riot. You don't like to see that, but that's just Disease diff. He's finding another pick, and he's clearing this point out as Venno goes in. Now he can swing as much as he wants. Now, 2 ticks for Nightshade does feel good, but you really thought you were going to get all of that. Finds Prism down as Uber Eats that's 2 now for Uber Eats, but a big shatter. As they're off the horn right now. Then it's picking up Riot. You don't like to see that, but Disease diff. He's finding another pick, and he's clearing this point out as Venno goes in. Now he can swing as much.
Picks? How many was that? 3 or 4, I know for sure.
3, 4, yeah, who knows at this point?
Yeah.
I mean, he was popping.
And now he flips back to the Ashe. Prism now on the Junkrat, not on the Pharah anymore. And Twid does have this grab. And looks like Nightshade is going underneath. Look at that.
They don't even notice the grab. Wait a minute, they're going to see 9, they're going to see 9. Oh, no.
No.
The grab followed by them just not catching it in time means Nightshade goes underneath. And they cap that final tick. Oh, no, Riot. Oh, they had such a good hold, too. Oh, not the C9, a classic blunder. Oh no, it hurts to watch. It hurts. I can't take it.
That's
Riot. I mean, of all the C9s, that's the easiest one to give up. You know, you already gave up 2 ticks. You're just trying to hold the high ground, and here comes Twid sneaking underneath, and then he grabs your whole team. Because Ven, remember, had to go around the grab to try to touch, which just made it so hard to get there in time. Huge graph by Twid, by the way. What a high IQ play. And now Nightshade has almost 4 minutes of time bank.
Yeah, it's a backbreaker if you're on the side of 4-3 Riot here, but you have to go out on this attack and try and match that.
Very true. That's all you can do with the Lucio to do it. That speed could help you speed run this Hanamura point. If they keep on it, they might just be speed boosting out.
Absolutely. And we do see sort of the same thing that Riot ran on their defense now on Nightshade, but they have the BAP Zen here instead of the Ana BAP with the Junkrat for the spam as well.
3, 2, 1.
And Prism, he's a good Junkrat. I think he could definitely do some damage here, but I don't think they're going to anticipate this teleport, which I assume is going to be to point or at least around it. So
yeah, I would say Red Barrel probably not holding up far enough, doesn't get any swings off on the TP. Now Riot is on the point as they find a pick. Nightshade does actually. Sadfire finds the enemy support now, so that's a big support div. His picks are coming in for Nightshade, so Riot did have this early with the positioning, but Nightshade closed in and held their angles, and just really Riot kind of walked into a big crossfire there from the Junkrat that it's going to make it really hard to hold that point. So not going to switch off the sim, though. They're going to keep with it and probably try to DP in again. Now they have a Junkrat, I believe. That's new. No, they do go to the McCree. Okay.
Yeah, and Prism already has this Riptire, and less than a minute through this round.
Wow,
and,
big
yeah,
Riptire.
Nightshade being very well prepped for that sim TP. Very well played by them.
Now Ven coming in, trying to make the space for his team, but here comes that vicious tire from Prism. You just hate to see it. Your lamp's gone. And he actually finds one through the lamp as well. Rasky Grant just wasn't able to get into his lamp, and he goes down because of it. Big tire, and that's a tire that's going to save you so much time. That's absolutely massive play from Prism.
This is gonna make you feel better.
Yeah, and this is just they're just wasting time off the clock for 4-3 Riot here. They still haven't really had an engage recently, and now it looks like they're gonna go in here, even though that bubble has already been used. Oh my goodness.
Riot found 3 with their mirror and the fire strike, but a big shatter from Red Barrel might not be enough. They're gonna have to use that Iris. Zen trying to keep them alive is at least a tick. Probably gonna go to Riot here. Nightshade wants to try to win it back, but it's unlikely as a pick goes down. Venom's down, but the beat is gonna save the rest of Riot, who's cleaning up this point right now.
And Riot does manage to clean it up. Those were 3 quick picks from 4-3 Riot here, and great opening for them to cap this point. They'll have a little under 5 minutes for point B here as well. And they do have quite a few ults to work with as well, with the Shatter and this Tire as well.
Yeah, now Disease has his tire online. That could be big. Prism almost has another, but the big grab early catches all of Riot in it. And the draw doesn't get much, but the damage it does will be plenty enough to clear the point. Disease actually uses the tire, and that's not a great tire because he was going to kill Prism with his Death Mines anyways, unfortunately. Don't think you quite knew that, but Prism does go down and going to have plenty of time to respawn now, so that's one less tire for Riot. And Prism has his tire already online. This could be absolutely huge for Nightshade, who are looking to try to take their 3rd map here. Right now, they could be looking to time bank if Riot doesn't well sync up these next ults they have. Here comes the tire from Prism. Held onto the wall now, and he goes in, tries to find one, but doesn't get anything. Maybe he'll take the time. I mean, now you've time banked the enemy team significantly, and sufficiently at least with 1 second and counting. So that's all you need. Sadfire finds the prick on the Disease, and that's all you really needed. Disease goes down. Big pick from Sadfire, and now, again, Riot finds themselves with an early pick, and they have to regroup, but they have the ults coming back.
Yeah, it stalled them out super well. That Tire initially stalling them out. Didn't find the pick, but it did get Grant's personal bubble out from what I saw. And then Sadfire finding that pick, just helping it even more. But Riot is still going into this point. They do get a tick, and they use that grab.
Oh, and the high noon gets canceled by Prism as traps are going off. Prism finds yet another pick, and Red Barrel swinging onto the point. The Rhine duel takes place as the bubbles are coming out, but Ven goes down right now. They get a tick, but that's not going to be enough. You need the whole dang point right now if you're Riot to try to stay in this game.
Yeah, very unfortunate for 4-3 Riot, and now Ink Splash has this window. If you use it on the high ground, which I assume they will, that's just, you just don't want to walk into that. Just don't walk into it regardless.
Yeah, you never want to get hit by that window from Ink Splash. They have it online, and it's going to be huge right now. They're looking at Prism trying to sync it up now. It's going to be a fire strike as well from Red Barrel, probably through that window maybe. As now it's actually, Riot's taking a tip here, going underneath, but that's a really small choke. And Ven's holding here because I think he doesn't know how to get through this little door he's put his team in now. As Hanzo is now trying to spam and make space. Here comes the spam. And down goes little Dorothy to a huge pin from Red Barrel. Oh my gosh. The mirror, and it did go to Prism at the end of the day. You find some big spam. At least maybe you get some ults out, so now you can try to build the Grab Dragon so you can still cap this point. Keeps your hopes of winning alive.
Yeah, Grant, still a little bit to go on that Graviton. Twit is definitely going to have it before, seeing as he's 87% to it. And now Prism has this tire again, as well as the Deadeye, which are 2 ultimates that can just dull out your time very well, which has already been an issue for 4-3 Riot here. And I think it's just going to get even worse if Nightshade uses these ultimates wisely.
Yeah, Riot pushing into high ground now. Sadfire, yet another entry pick. They've been doing this all day. Ven does pin in, but gets grabbed now before it can hit. Grabbed up into a slightly safe location at least, but Prism's going to follow up on that quick. As the rest of Riot's going to fall. They have a tick. They're going to get these ultimates here. Maybe you need one more dry fight, but they're probably going to go ahead and use these ultimates because you probably don't get another fight after what's about to come. We're looking at Riot's last chance. Ultimates online. Can they do it?
We'll see. They do have this Grab Dragon combo, which can be absolutely deadly. But you do have the Transcendence, and you'll have that Immortality from Esports as well, provided they don't use it beforehand. And that tire picks off Disease again. That's like the third time he's gone down, and it's just stalling out time again for 4-3 Riot, and this is a bad time for it as well.
Another huge entry pick on the way to the point. That's going to be huge. Now, delaying the crescendo of this match as Riot pushes in again with these ultimates. They have the Grab Dragon online now, and it could be huge. All you got to do is hit it. But can they do that? The enemy team is separating. Nightshade splitting up to avoid it being too massive. You can see that grab might not catch anything. Now the high noon and the beat coming through. Riot taking 2 down, and that's so unfortunate. Down go the rest of Riot, and that's going to be the end. GG's. The first winner of the first match of the season, Nightshade, takes a strong victory over Riot, who had some early upsets, but at the end of the day, veteran talent and newer talent, people like Red Barrel, comes in huge for Nightshade.
For sure. And now, with Nightshade taking this 3-1 victory, shrugging off that defeat on Ilios and coming back to win 3 more, who do you think could win MVP for this match?
You know, there's a lot to look at. Obviously, Nightshade had a lot of big players, so you could really go to anybody, but I think a really consistent stay, you know, we had some swaps, we saw a little bit of back and forth, but that support line from Nightshade was so crisp. An early candidate for me would have to be Sadfire, finding picks when you needed it and making sure that Hanamura map was just one of the hardest ever for Riot. I mean, those entry picks on the way to the second point that Sadfire was getting every single fight were absolutely huge. What do you think, Hawk?
Yeah, for sure. Sadfire definitely making a lot of magic work on that support line. I think we'll have to go with Sadfire.
Sadfire it is. Nightshade, MVP. Absolutely huge plays from the whole support line. But Sadfire specifically, I mean, that Zen play was just brutal. I don't even know how you recover from that. You get absolutely rolled every time you try to come into that second point because Sadfire is just raining down beamers from the back line. Absolutely insane from Sadfire. And we do have Sadfire for the interview. Thank you. What an amazing play. Your Zen on the last point is probably what really solidified this MVP slot. What do you think really separated your play there on that, especially that last point where you were finding so many entry picks on the way in when Riot was trying to capture that second point?
Thanks. I was just like looking for people that I could single out to Discord, and I just got I don't want to say I got lucky. They were calculated, but a lot of luck probably played into that. And then yeah, and I was always keeping trans up, or I was getting trans really quickly. And I was like standing my ground on when I should use trans because my teammates kept saying that I should use it this or during that occasion, and that kind of showed in my first trans and when they were taking point A. On our defense, and my teammate told me to trans, and I was like, oh, I shouldn't, but I did it because they told me to. But and after that, I was just like, okay, I'm gonna do my own thing now.
Yeah, I mean, you were finding really good transes throughout, and clearly it made the difference. Hawkshaw, any questions for our MVP?
Now that you've won this first match versus 4-3 Riot, what do you think this is going to say about this newly revamped Nightshade team, and what do you think going forward?
I think that we can only get better from here. We only had like one or two scrims like as an actual team, and if this is how we play right now, I think we're really gonna do well in later games.
Wow,
so
for sure.
Watch out.
Well, you guys certainly got off to a really great start early, and you guys played a great game. Thanks for the interview. Great game.
Thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. And we're going to go. I believe that is the end of our match. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe, and make sure you guys check us out on Twitch as well. There should be links in the description. Our next match tomorrow, that's going to be I have that match was so long. I have no sense of time. I'm looking at my calendar. Thursday, tomorrow. Or no, yes, tomorrow, Thursday, 8 p.m. EST. We have a very exciting match for you. That's Havoc versus WVU, I believe. And then Battle Overwatch versus Ascent. Battle Overwatch and Ascent will be playing after that, or on Friday, or Saturday even. Thursday at 10. So, wow, 2 double features this week. I'm just amazed at the amount of content we have for you guys. Make sure you guys follow and stick around. Any last words for our viewers, Akshat?
I don't think so. Other than yeah, I don't know. Yeah, thank you guys for joining, and like and subscribe, and again, follow on our Twitch.
Couldn't have said it
Also
better
that.
myself, Akshat. We're out. 413 out.